Hello students, today we are going to start with the basics of digital communication. Introduction. The communication that occurs in our day-to-day life, that is, the communication is one of the essential part of our life in the form of the signal. These signals may be the sound signal, video signal, audio signals, and the some signals are in the analog in the nature. When communication needs to be established over a distance, then the analog signals are sent through a wire using the different technique for the effective communication. So that's why for the effective communication, the analog signal can be converted into the digital signal. So necessity of the digitization or why digitization is required. In conventional method of communication, use analog signal for long distance communication, which suffers from many losses such as a distortion, interference, and other losses, including the security range. So the basic conventional method uses the analog signal for the long distance communication, and if the long distance happens, there may be the different losses occur, such as the distortion, interference, and the different losses regarding the. So in order to overcome these problems or losses, the signals are digitized using the different techniques. Digitized signals allow the communication to be done more clear and accurate without losses. So once we convert the signal into the digital form, that signal can be sent through a wired or wireless media without loss. This figure indicates that the difference between the analog signal and digital signal, and the digital signal is in the form of the ones and zero that we indicates as a high and low values respectively. Next one is the advantages of the digital communication, or why should we go for the digital communication. As the signals are digitized, there are many advantages of the digital communication over analog communication, such as the effect of distortion, noise, and interference is much less in digital signal as they are less affected. The second advantage is digital circuits are more reliable. And the third advantage is digital circuits are easy to design and cheaper than the analog circuits due to the integration of the technology. So the cost of the ICs, different ICs or different electronic component gets reduced. Next, hardware implementation of the digital circuit is more flexible than the analog circuit. Next, occurrence of the crosstalk is very rare in the digital communication. Next, the signal is unaltered as pulse needs high disturbance to alter its property, which is very difficult. So, crosstalk may not occur in the digital communication. The signal processing functions such as encryption and compressions are employed in the digital circuit, so, to maintain the secrecy of the information, because once the signal is converted into the digital form, that digital signal can be encoded into the different language, so the unauthorized person cannot get that signal, right? So the due to the different encryption technique, we can secure the digital signal, and as well as due to the compression technique, we can save the different kind of the memory. The probability, next one, the probability of error occurrence is reduced by the employee error detecting and correcting technique codes. So there are many or tremendous techniques for the error detection and correction for the in the digital signals. The spread spectrum technique is used to avoid the signal jamming. So due to the spread spectrum technique, we can avoid the signal jamming because the different signals can be passed to the different segment of the packets. Combining, next one, the combining digital signals using the TDM, that is the time division multiplexing, is easier than the combining the analog signal using frequency division multiplexing. Next one, configuration process of the digital signal is easier than the analog signal. And the next advantages are the digital signal can be saved and retrieved more conveniently than the analog signal. So digital signal can be saved or recovered back conveniently or easier than the analog signal. The next one, the many of the digital circuits have almost common encoding techniques, and hence similar devices can be used for the number of purposes. So one circuit can be used for the uh, different purpose. The capacity of the channel is effectively utilized by the digital signals. Next one is the what are the basic elements of the digital communication, or we can call it as what is the basic block diagram of the digital communication, or the different components used in the digital communication. So this figure is indicated the basic block diagram of the digital communication. The elements which form the digital communication system is represented by this block diagram. That is, the first block is the input transducer and A to D converter, next source encoder, next channel encoder, next D to A converter, digital modulator and D to A converter, next channel, next analog to digital converter, digital demodulator, channel decoder, source decoder, and output transducer and D to A converter. First one, source. The source can be analog signal or the or source which generates the signal, maybe which is in analog in nature. For example, a sound signal, that is a mic is one input transducer where the speaker speaks in that mic and the signals come out from that mic is nothing but the sound signal. Next one is the input transducer. This is the transducer which takes the physical input and converts it into the electrical signal. For example, microphone. So once in microphone the speaker speaks something and the that physical or sound signal is that signal is converted into the electrical signal from the mic. This block consists of the analog to digital converter where digital signal is needed for the further processing. A digital signal is generally represented by the binary signal. So in first block the input transducer is there and after that the A to D converter is there. So there are many blocks are used for the A to D conversion, of course sample and hold circuit, after that quantization, and after that A to D converter. Okay, so here is the limits of the figure. So this is the only basic block diagram. So once the digital signal is generally represented by the binary sequence. Next one is the source encoder, second block. Source encoder compresses the data into the minimum number of bits. This process helps in the effective utilization of the bandwidth. It removes the redundant unnecessary bits, that is 0. So source encoder uses the source encoding method or compresses the data into the minimum number of bits, and this process helps in effective utilization of the bandwidth due to once the bits gets reduced, the bandwidth gets effectively utilized, and it removes the redundant bit or unnecessary bits, that is 0. Next one next one digital modulator. Third block is the digital modulator. Fourth block, the signal to be transmitted to the modulated here by the carrier. The signal is also converted from the analog form to the digital form in order to make it travel through the channel or medium. So digital modulates that signal that is compatible with the channel. This Next one is the channel encoder. Channel encoder does the coding for the error correction. During the transmission of the signal, due to the noise in the channel, the signal may get altered, and hence to avoid this, the channel encoder adds some redundant bits to the transmitted data, and these are the error correcting bits. So in the channel encoder, in the channel encoder, once the signal is modulated by the demodulator, so the some due to the noise the bits may get altered, or the error may be added in that signal, so that the signal can be identified by the additional bit, or we can call it as a resident bit, and that added can be that bits can be added by the channel decoder. Next one is the source decoder. The resultant signal is in once again digitized by the sampling and quantizing, so that the pure digital signal can be obtained or output is obtained without loss of the information. The source decoder repeats or recreates the source output. Next one is the output transducer. This is the last block which converts the signal into the original physical form which was at the input of the transmitter. So this block recovers your input or output as compatible or equal to the your input. It converts the electrical signal into the physical signal, that is a loudspeaker. So signal may gets converted into the physical form and it is transmitted via the loudspeaker. And then the output signal, this is the output which is produced after the whole process, that is a sound signal. So review of the block diagram. So source generates the signal from by using the input transducer. After that signal should be converted into the digital form. This A to D conversion process requires the sampling circuit, sample and hold circuit, after that quantization, and after that A to D converter, so that the signal will get converted into the digital form. Once the signal is converted into the digital form, it is applied to the source encoder, where source converts that or reduce that bits, extra bits, so or compress the signal. After that, it is fed to the channel encoder. After that, it is fed to the digital modulator. So the digital modulator converts that signal or produces the signal which is compatible to the channel, and after that it is again converted into the analog signal, and the signal is travel via the channel. The channel may be the analog or digital or wired wireless channel. After it is fed to the, so this is the reverse process at the receiver side. This is the reverse process of the transmitter. So after that, it is a fed to the demodulator, channel decoder, source decoder, and output transducer. So output transducer recovered back its original signal, that is output signal. Next one is the sampling. Sampling is the process of measuring the instantaneous values of continuous time signal into the discrete form. So the signal is in the analog signal, and that should be sampled into the instantaneous uh, values of continuous time signal in discrete form. Sample is the piece of the data taken from the whole data which is continuous in the time domain. When a source generates an analog signal, and if that has to be digitized, having the ones and zeros or high or low, the signal has to be discretized in the time. This discrimination of analog signal is called as a sampling. That is, so in this figure, this is the continuous time signal, and we sample the signal. So you will get the instantaneous values of the at the distinct point. So in the following figure indicates the continuous time signal x of t and sample time signal xs of t. That is, x of t is multiplied by the periodic impulse train. The sample signal will get obtained. Suppose this signal is analog signal or continuous signal is multiplied by the pulse train, then you will get the digital signal. That next one is the how sampling rate can be identified or defined. To discretize the signal, the gap between samples should be the fixed. That gap can be termed as a sampling period. So this gap is same. So that gap is called as a sampling period, Ts. So sampling frequency Fs is equal to 1 by Ts. Ts is the sampling time. Fs is the sampling frequency or sampling rate. Sampling frequency is reciprocal of the sampling time. This sampling frequency can be simply called as a sampling rate. The sampling rate denotes the number of samples taken per second for a finite set of the values. For analog signals to be reconstructed from the digitized signal, the sampling rate should be highly considered. The rate of the sampling should be such that the data in the message should neither be lost nor it should be overlapped. Hence, the rate was fixed and it is called as a Nyquist rate. So, this rate is called as a Nyquist rate. Nyquist rate Fs is equal to 2W. Suppose that the signal is band emitted with no frequency components higher than the W hertz. That means W is the highest frequency for such signal. For effective reproduction of the original signal, the sampling rate should be twice the highest frequency. That means the decoder, when the at the signal reaches at the decoder, and when the original signal should be recovered back, or the digitized signal should be recovered back to the original, then your sampling rate should be the twice of the highest frequency, that is Fs is equal to 2W, where Fs is the sampling frequency, W is the highest frequency, and this rate of the sampling is called as a Nyquist rate. A theorem is called as a sampling theorem was stated on the theory of this Nyquist rate. So, in next lecture we are going to check the sampling types and the sampling process. Thank you.